sounding, but other than that, good.
Oh, sorry. I have my microphone muted.
Okay, very good. Well, this is the owner and the CEO of the marketing platform that's going to launch in and around January 15th that we spoke about earlier. I won't steal his thunder, but this individual has been very successful with everything. Every company, every individual that he's worked with and mentored. Let me welcome Maximilian Williams to the show, and we'll get started here. So, Max, if you would say hi. You got about 30 seconds, and we'll get into the presentation for the new people, and then you can have the last 15 minutes of the call. How's that sound?
Okay. So, how's everybody? Somebody hear me now? You guys hear me? Am I good? Kind of.
You're a little light.
I'm a little light. Hold on. Let me figure out how to.
I hear him. He's coming through good for me.
Okay. Perfect.
How's now? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thumbs up. All right. So I just want to say hi. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited and honored to be on the call here tonight with Cheryl and Andy. Like I said, we had a chance to travel with each other, and it was just a phenomenal time getting to know them and all the leaders with Karatbars International. And these are two of the best leaders I've ever met. I shared with this on the tour. I always tell people, when you get to spend time with people traveling, you get to see them not just on the stage, because you can see somebody on stage and they could put on this facade, or you can see somebody on one of these webinars, and again, you can see them in front of the camera, but when you get to travel with people, you see them behind the camera. You see them early in the morning, you see them late at night, you're with them constantly, and you can really get to know people and see their character. And their character is what will take you to your dreams and your future. And these people have just such phenomenal character, and they truly love their organization and their people. They work so hard for you guys, like literally every day, all day. They're working tirelessly, and it's not that they have to, but it's because they want to. They could be living their lives and having a great time with their families and doing what they want to do, but they choose to spend their time and their effort and their energy helping all you guys, and they love you. That's because they love you guys so much, and they want you guys to be successful so bad. And they're such phenomenal leaders. I've worked with some of the top people around the world, and I'll share that with you guys later on at the end. But I can confidently say that Cheryl and Andy rank right up there at the top of my list of the best leaders in the world, and you guys should truly want to follow their example, follow them, and they can help you get to your dreams. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Max. For those of you that are new that don't know Max, that was Maximilian Williams, and to the right, I see about 50 people just came on here in the last 5 minutes. The gal to my right, hand-put matriarch is what we call her, Cheryl Ann Gober, who is the queen of North America, is what we'll call her. But to move along with the presentation, this is the presentation that the 8 or 9 of us did in 8 cities in North America. And we started out with the problem. And typically, I explain the problem and all the global indicators that led us down the path of where we are now and why Karatbar International is a long-term solution. Because before we can really appreciate the vision of Karatbar International and all that it implies, we need to know what the problem is that's going to give us the longevity that I believe Karatbar International will be. So we started out with lack of savings, and let's start right there. Per capita in North America, we are the worst savers in the world. We make the most money, and we are the worst savers in the world. Let's start there with the problem, and you can throw in with that problem debt. Debt is all-consuming. Debt will keep you up at night. Debt will put you in a stressful situation. Debt will make your life miserable. Debt will put you and make you do things that typically you would not do. Just like you're seeing our government do now. They are in debt. And if you want to look at debt and all that it implies, if you took all the debt of all nations throughout humanity for the last 2,000 plus years and you added that all up, it would not even come close to the debt that we've amassed in the last 40 years here in the United States. We have a debt that is 15 trillion, which exceeds our GDP of about 12.4. So what that means is if I taxed your income of the job that you were at 100%, We could not pay back our tax and the liability through the indiscretions of our government and their spending. Now, if that's not bad enough, we also have something that's been appropriated through Congress, through Washington, that is monies that have already been allocated, monies that have already been spent, if you will. And there's something known as an unfunded liability. And you can categorize things as unfunded liabilities like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, unemployment, all those entitlement type programs that officials use for swaying votes and to buy votes and to, quite honestly, it's $200 trillion. That number is so exceptionally high that if we paid back $1,000 per second for 2010 years, we could pay that debt off. That's if for those 2,000 years we never spent another dollar. So when we get to lack of savings, we also can categorize lack of saving, quote unquote, debt. Debt is a mechanism used by the powers that be that is known as fractional banking. You hear is too big to fail, the GMACs, the Fannie Mae, the Freddie Mac. Cheryl and I both own mortgage companies. We're heavily involved with the mortgage industry. And these entities aren't too big to fail. What happened to capitalism? Capitalism is a company succeeds or it doesn't by its own volition. If it doesn't, it goes bankrupt and it goes out of business. That's the laws of goods, services, supply and demand. Capitalism is gone. Too big to fail is quite honestly nonsense. Too big to fail when the largest distribution of monies that are directed through a car company or a mortgage company, because you got to remember, guys, expansion of the monetary system is in their favor. Without expansion, without growth in the GDP, the Ponzi scheme comes to an end. You've got to constantly utilize new money to feed the old money so the whole process works. Why do you think we're in a recession right now or a depression? Nobody's buying homes. Without that new influx of cash or loans or fractional banking, the whole system comes to a halt. Because we steal money from Mary while Paul watches, and then it's a shell game. It's all bogus numbers. It's all being manipulated. So when I hear too big to fail, it's not too big to fail. It's too profitable to close, would be more accurate. Without Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which sells the highest ticket items around, which is a home, that's fractional banking at its best. GMAC, same thing. These car dealerships, too big to fail? That's not the case at all. So when we look at inflation, why do we have inflation? Well, because we've sold our morals. We have become a greedy society. We no longer live by checks and balances. Why aren't there checks and balances? Because we can print money out of thin air. When we were taken off the gold standard in 1970, there is no accounting process now. We can print, we can add a zero on a computer screen, and everything's hunky-dory. Everything's good to go. But what happens in the process of that, at some point you have to pay the piper. And who's the piper? We all know who the piper is. Who's going to pay the piper? The piper is going to be paid by your kids and your grandkids and their grandkids. That's who's going to pay the piper. We have so much debt we cannot sustain ourselves. And these are all the same indicators that we see worldwide throughout history of a declining, debasement, bankrupting fiat currency. So now what you do about it, now that you know what the problem is, what are you going to do about it? We know as asset classes go that gold is the only asset class that has not gone bankrupt. So when we look at the solution, we can't appreciate the solution if we don't understand the problem. Because we've been brainwashed since we were kids of what money is, what value is. And it's all nonsense. They don't want you to even learn how to balance a checkbook because they don't want you in control. He who owns the money controls the masses. And you're being controlled. $10.8 trillion that was sucked out of the stock market just 3 years ago in September of 2008. Follow the money. Who benefited from that? Wall Street, the investment brokerage houses, the hedge funds, the managers. So who do you trust? The banksters? Now, Karatbars International, we can't compete with the largest, most powerful entity in the world. But what we can do is offer a solution, an alternative currency, an alternative savings account. That's 100% bullion, 999.9. So when we look at the problem, it's easy for us to understand how valuable this solution is. We've got double-digit inflation. So take a quick scenario. You got 10 grand sitting in your bank account. You're drawing maybe 0.5%, 1% per annum interest. I just looked at CD returns. 3-month CD return was 0.23%, not even 0.25%. 6 months was 0.43. And if you keep your money in there and not touch it for 5 years, you get a whopping 1.49 return on your investment in 5 years. Now, that's all great. Wow, you're getting 1.5% return to keep your money locked up for 5 years. But what you don't take into effect, over the next 5 years, inflation could be 25%. It's currently, or so they say, at 11% now. So your money sitting in a savings account drawing 1% return, you're losing 10% purchasing power by keeping it there. If you had $10,000 and you had the choice right now to lock it away in a vault, would you take $10,000 or would you take $10,000 worth of gold? See, folks, all that we're doing is converting fiat currency. And we're taking declining, worthless fiat currency in one pocket, and we're converting that into gold, which is true value, true currency. So, record gold prices. Technically, that's not true. Yeah, on the surface, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 is record gold prices. But when you calculate inflation into that, actually the highest gold price was in 1983. We're still not at record gold prices. We'd have to get to about $2,400 an ounce. So all the people out there that say, oh, gold's as high as it's ever been, they don't understand the value of gold. What's gold going to be worth when the dollar goes bankrupt? You got to look at gold as an insurance. Provide for your family, generational wealth, storage abroad. That if you own gold, you always own money. The equity markets are down. We've already been through quantitative easing 1, quantitative easing 2. Throwing money at the problem doesn't solve the problem. It just prolongs the inevitable. It's now indebtedness to our kids. It's indebtedness to our grandkids. When our corporate tax rate is the highest tax rate in the world, business owners don't want to come to the United States to produce widget A, B, or C because they can do it abroad cheaper. Whether you can blame that on the unions, you can blame that on quite a few entities. And I know a lot of you don't like to hear that. But the unions haven't helped us. They were established for safety in the workplace. Now they dictate doctrine. They dictate pay raises. They reward people for tenure, not performance. These are the economics behind our decline. Greed. We have no morals or ethics. We spend money like we have it, with no intention of paying it back. It's politics. It's policies as usual. You can't blame it on the current administration. It's collectively. It's happened for 80 years. And it's not going to change. The rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer. Do you want to be rich? You want to be poor? If you knew an economic disaster was coming, would you prepare? You insure your wife, your life, your car, your health. You insure every other aspect of your family, your life. You need to protect your wealth. And the best way to do that is gold. The value of gold has not gone up. The value of the dollar has gone down. And it's going to continue to go down. As you see here, it's lost 40% of its purchasing power in the last 2 years. And nothing's changed. We have high unemployment. got the highest taxes in the world. Once this snowball starts and this economic collapse happens, if you don't have a position in gold, God help you. That's why this is a beautiful model. There's no cost to join. You simply convert fiat currencies into gold and silver. It's that easy, that simple. So that's the mess that we're in now. Unfunded liabilities, all-time debt, all-time indebtedness. Our GDP is down, unemployment's up, value of the dollar is down. They're talking about, going and bailing out the UK and giving them $500 billion. That's not going to help. Gold chart, 1985, December 2010. Yes, gold has gone up, but that's directly correlated to the dollar going down. This is indebtedness that I just talked about, the national debt. We followed the national debt as we went into the tour. And it grew at about, $100 billion every week or something ridiculous like that. So that's the problem. Now the solution. I'm going to have Cheryl talk about the companies in Europe, Belize, Asia, Thailand, and so forth, and talk about our expansion and where we're going and what we're doing as a company. So Cheryl, explain Karatbar International, the evolution of the cards, how it all started out, and how did we end up being Karatbar International as versus KB Gold or KB Elemental, GmbH, and so forth.
Right. Well, the KB Group actually started, companies in the KB Group actually started about 17 years ago. And, when KB first started out, they were like a lot of other financial companies 17 years ago. They offered several different plans, future retirement plans, investment plans, different things. It was just a financial company. And, you have to really stop and think about, this is a German company. In the last 100 years, Germany has seen a lot of things happen with its currencies. They've actually lost 3 currencies. Now they're on their 4th currency in the last 100 years. The other 3 have, what's the word I'm looking for, Andy? Collapsed is no other way to say it. They collapsed the currencies. But back in 2007, 2008, one of the men instrumental in bringing KB to the world, Mike Kosheen, started looking at his customers, and he understood what was happening in the marketplace. He started seeing all the bailouts happen for the, and they were for the banks. They were not for you and me. It was a big facade what those bailouts were actually for. And right after those bailouts happened, you started reading one article after another about some CEO's big bonus check that he got following a bailout from our country. And the key was that money is your tax money, your hard-earned, money that you paid in, that you trusted a politician or somebody in office to be prudent with those funds to take care of necessities like fire, police, but they do with it whatever they want to. And in this case, in those bailouts that happened, what we saw was CEOs and people in key positions in these companies start earning just unfathomable bonus checks. It wasn't their regular pay. It was unfathomable bonus checks. And nevertheless, he saw this, and he had an obligation to his client base. And he understood currencies. He understood what happens when a currency collapses. And he saw that the writing on the wall. So he got in at that time and really started looking into the gold market, because gold has been proven for 6,000 years. It's an asset class that protects from generation to generation. And he wanted to do something for his client base to encourage them to protect for what was coming. And he saw it's a tsunami. And that's exactly what he looked at. It right now was the first ripples, but that landslide, it's coming in. It's not an if, it's a when it happens. And he realized that, so he started going into that gold market, purchased a couple of gold mines, ended up buying a refinery, and the KB Group, came into play. There were 25 companies in the KB Group. all of them serving different purposes, one of them being the refinery, one of them being precious metals. They started out with all of this nose-to-nose sales. Everything was snail mail, hard copy, and Harold's vision was to really bring it to the world. And by doing that, he knew that we needed a system on the internet. He knew it needed to be secure. He also knew that that what we needed and the real protection came with more than just offering gold to a group of people. It was about creating a full system that if and when this happens, that we're situated, that we can buy products and services when needed for those everyday expenditures that we need, like groceries, like gasoline. And his vision is to incentivize 200 to 250,000 retailers to come on board with us and create an alternative currency. And, we have the perfect product that you're seeing right there on the screen right now, which is Karatbars. All of this evolved, and I think during the tour, Andy, we saw that, in the last 3 years, we have really pushed that Kinabar quality gold. UBS created the first hologram on the reverse side of the bar back in 1993, and they called it a Kinabar feature. And we've talked about that. Our gold was one of 3 or 4 refineries, I believe, that actually produced that grade of gold. And it's a security device that goes on the reverse side of the bar, and it protects it. It keeps it from being manipulated or altered into something else. It guarantees that purity there. And when we saw that UBS Bank came up and they ended up trademarking the name Kinabar, so we knew at that time we don't need to brand their product any more than we already had. So Harold went and he was going to try to trademark KB, KB Vision, but you can't trademark initials. So that's how the word Karatbars came into play. And so we've got a big job right now. We're going to brand the word Karatbars International. Our gold is really, it's pretty impressive what they've came up with. Not only do we have the security feature on the back, that hologram now that we've talked about for the last couple of years, and that security device in play, we now have a refinery that is LBMA approved. Harold went out, and that's a hard ticket to find. There are very few refineries in the world that have that LBMA certificate. And basically what it means, and you can see it on the very front of our new gold bars, it has that LBMA stamp on there. That's the London Bullion Market Association. And in essence, what that means is I can take this product into any bank, anywhere in 194 countries, and they recognize that product as currency grade gold. That, before we had the Swiss certification, now we have the LBMA certification. So, you're looking at a product that very few people have out in the marketplace right now. It's not just a gold coin that you've got the burden of proving the purity of. It's actual bullion that is serialized. Each one has its own individual serial number. But more than that, they went to the extra effort of putting that hologram on the back that takes the burden off of our customers to prove the purity. And then on top of it, the certification for that LBMA is just unheard of in our industry. But the vision now is to take this company forward. We've went through the, all the, rivers, valleys, everything we've had to go through. We've went through everything we needed to create a perfect system. And what I saw on the tour was a guy that's on a mission to protect families and give you the best product known to man. So with that being said, I don't want to take a lot of time tonight. Andy, I know Max has got something to share with everybody, and so I'm excited about hearing him tonight too.
Okay, and we're running a little bit late too. We're already at 9:37, and we're 13 out of 37. So just real quick overview if you're new. Our stocking and our delivery and our storage near Frankfurt is going to be utilized by SecureLog. We'll get into those details a little bit later. They're the largest German company around. They work for the who's who of precious metals and jewelry. an impeccable record in their delivery, and that's Secure Log. We'll move on from there. Worldwide delivery, we use G4S, 35 countries. We're open in 52, and we're working on the logistics on opening and penetrating some third world market. So those will be forthcoming. We hope to be in 60 countries here by the end of the year. And of course, our goal is to be in 194 global by this time next year. So the timing is great. The timing is perfect. We're just getting ramped up. You're about to see phenomenal growth. And one of the persons that are going to bring in the growth is going to be Maximilian. The timing couldn't be better. Okay, so we're in 50 countries now. Program, no registration, no website, annual fees, no artificially and boom market, no storage cost, immediate earnings for the first month. And we'll get into that briefly here. Now, step one, create a Karatbars account. Simply get with the person who shared Karatbar International with you and have them walk you through the sign up. There's absolutely no cost. You own, manage, and control your own account. Very easy, very simple. But that's only step one. It's really a three-step process. You want to get in, get your account, and then you want to upload something known as KYC, know your client or know your customer. And this is for a security device, so we eliminate the drug dealers, the funny money, and those types of things. It's going to verify and validate who you are. Just like if you opened up a savings account in your hometown, they're going to look for your ID and maybe a utility bill, something that says, I am who I say I am. And that's all there is to it. So you get in, get your free account, you're going to upload your KYC docs, very easy. Your sponsor will help you do that. And then the third process is it's twofold. You want to buy the product, which is Karatbars. We offer a starter pack with 1 gram, 2 gram, and 3 gram. And that way you can have a product in your wallet, in your purse, that you can share with other people. And then the other component of that third step is very simply everybody on this call, everybody within Karatbar International should be on a obligation or a commitment or an agreement that says through dollar cost averaging, and that's the most effective way to save, you do it consistently over a long period of time. The way I look at this is it ranges from 50 euros or approximately today $68 to $680 a month. Your choice. Minimum you can put in $68 a month, but the contract or the obligation is to buy 100 1 gram units. Now that term can be any period you like. It might take you 1 year, it might take you 10 years, because we don't have an auto shipment mandatory that you have to buy something on a monthly basis. Would we like you to? Is it the prudent thing to do on a monthly basis? Utilize dollar cost averaging? Absolutely. That's the way you save. Not, I'll get to it next month, or I'm getting a tax return in February, I'll put money at it that way because life happens and your savings never does happen. You've got to cut something out or fit it in your budget. Anybody can afford $20 a week, or in this case, $15 a week. You just can. If you're serious about what the message is that we're sending, the prudence, the insurable aspects. If you want to protect your family, have the ability to utilize an alternative currency to preparedness, to insure yourself, you've got to set up a monthly payment plan. Because waiting on your tax return, something else will happen. Your refrigerator will break down. Your car will break down. Whatever excuse you want to use not to save, you'll utilize that. And you got nobody to blame but yourself. Set it and forget it. The auto ship button will be fully functional very soon. Set it and forget it. Get on a monthly contract. Start your savings account. So, first thing is to get a spot. Second thing is to upload your KYCs, your driver's license, and your utility bill. Third thing is to buy 1, 2, or 3 grams in the starter pack. And then the fourth and final thing you want to do is get in, find out what's comfortable for your budget, that you're going to start a savings account for the rest of your life from 50 to 500 euros. You can skip months if you want. You can increase or decrease that value every month. It's totally flexible. You own and manage and control your own account. Okay. We get paid, and if you're new to this call, don't worry so much about the comp plan right now. Know that you earn a commission for helping others save or convert their fiat currency into gold. And keep it as simple as that. Work with your upline. Know that you're going to personally sponsor 3 people that are direct to you. And from that point on, you're going to assist those 3 people and help them get 3. It's as simple as that. If you build it, the money's there. Don't worry about the infinite details of the comp plan at this point. Know you get paid on other like-minded individuals that convert fiat currency into gold, and that you need to personally sponsor 3 people. Get with your upline sponsor. By that time you get that done, get some people in, Maximilian will have a video that will explain the structure and the words and the mindset of how we build this business efficiently, effectively, and most profitably. So we'll skip over the comp plan tonight. If any of you have a dire need that you have to get something answered, feel free to contact me, Cheryl, at any time. I can be reached on Skype at andy.morbitzer is my Skype name. My cell phone number is 614-561-1033. I am in Canada here for the next couple of days. So I'll probably be unavailable till the weekend or so, but I will be available on Skype. Cheryl, if you'd like to put out your cell phone number and Skype, please do so.
Yeah, my Skype name is Cheryl Ann. It's CHERLYLANNE.Gober, and that's GOB as in boy, ER. And my cell number, thank you, Kelly. My cell number is 615-838-4972.
Very good. Okay, before I introduce Max, and we'll get started here on Max, give him 15 minutes. A lot of people, both in KB and that are new, they always ask, what do I need to be successful? How do I become profitable? And I have a term or a phrase that I tell people all the time. Profitability is really achieved by retention, and retention gives us what we all want, which is long-term residual income. So profitability equates into retention. Retention equals long-term residual income. So what does all that mean? That means if you get people into profitability, they'll never leave your company. I don't care what your product is. We just happen to have the best product in the world, and that's money. So when you look at the screen right now, the easiest, fastest way, and this is a fast start, we have what started out as an incentive in our comp plan to find 3 individuals that would come in that would fund with €500 or approximately, what is that, $650. And that if you could find 3 individuals that did that, and all subsequent months they did the minimum or €50, €100 per month, and they got on contract, you would become profitable. And what I mean by profitable is you would meet the minimum requirement on contract to get your gold for free. So if our contractual agreement to buy 100 grams is €50, it's going to take you approximately 3 to 5 people that come in on the initial purchase and convert €500 or $650 into gold. So that is your first objective when you come into KB Gold. What do you need to get your gold for free? What do you need to be profitable? You need to come in as the, what is it, the bronze supervisor level? Cheryl, is that what that's called?
Right. Well, it's an incentive plan that, the rest of them, you're never going to earn, of course, commissions or points off of your own purchase, except for right now, KB has put in an incentive plan that if you fund your account with €500, then they are going to credit you for those points. But it does need to be on a monthly purchase plan. So all you have to do is go in there and put €500 in that monthly purchase plan, and you will also get credit for those points. Automatically moves you up to bronze supervisor level, and that way anybody that you bring in after that fact, then you're going to be earning at least that bronze supervisor level. If they do that 500, it just keeps moving you up in the ranking.
Okay.
So it's a good, quick way to get a lot of people to gold manager.
Well, more importantly, it's a good, quick way to get people into profitability. In my eyes, being an analytic at times, I don't care what the rank is. I'm more worried about the longevity. I'm more worried about getting people paying for their gold out of commissions, that is, versus discretionary income. So Cheryl Ann's right. Yeah, it moves you up in rank much quicker. It's the one time and only one time that you get paid on your own purchases, that initial fast start bonus, if you will. Now, let's say you can't find people that can do 500 euro. That's okay. If they can't afford it, I get it. We're in a recession. But what would make you profitable? 15 to 18 people in your team, whether you sponsored them or not, should get you to the minimum 50 euro or $68 a month. That now your gold is free. And you want to build it like a 3x9 matrix, personally sponsoring 3, and then help those 3 find 3, and so on. So 15 to 18 people, very easily, that's about $4 per person, and I've done the math on it. That will put you where you need to be to get your monthly $1,000 unit in qualification or contractual agreement of 50 euros covered through commission versus discretionary income. So that's huge. Anybody can build a team of 15, 20 people. Anybody. You can do it in a weekend. But with that said, okay, there's 2 other ways we get paid, and they're Karatbar pulls, and they are total volume in your downline. We won't get into the details of them tonight. It'll be another day. But what I did want to bring in, I'm not going to get into World ARM here tonight, Cheryl. I really want to get Max on. We're already got down to 10 minutes. So with that said, I want to introduce a fellow that I believe will take KB Gold to the largest, fastest growing MLM company, network marketing, affiliate company, direct marketing company, whatever you want to call us. I think we'll get to the top with this young man. He's have a proven track record. He can document it. Not only personal mentors that he's brought, fortunes and fame to, but companies as a whole. And he's increased their revenue, and in very high percentage rates. Now that KB, Karatbar International, is up and utilized and working on all cylinders except for maybe 1 or 2 that really don't inhibit our growth, by January 15th, this young man I'm going to introduce, we will have one message, one platform that's going to unify us, that's going to build our momentum, that is going to, as he would say, what did you hit me with earlier? It's off the chain, is what the guy from Oakland said to me earlier. And I said, I don't know what off the chain means. I'm from Midwest. I'm from Ohio. I don't know what off the chain is. So I got a chuckle out of that. Even though I know what off the chain is, I had to tease him a little bit. But with that said, one of the best guys I know, one of the best motivators I know, and definitely a great businessman that's going to increase Karatbar International worldwide. A man I've come to love and know, Maximilian Williams. Go ahead, Max.
Okay, can everybody hear me better now?
Yes.
I can.
All right, perfect. I can. Okay, my microphone was turned down earlier. Sorry about that. All right, so first, thank you, Andy, for the introduction. He's awesome, you guys. And one thing I love about Andy is that I always people, you got to learn how to work hard, but play hard also. And so he knows how to master both. He's one of the hardest working people I've ever met. But at the same time, he has a great character, and you have to get to know him. We joke around with each other. And that's really important because that is a true sign of just his humility and how much he just likes to be down to earth. And I just really appreciate that because a lot of times you meet people who are, at the top and they're great leaders, but you don't want to hang out with them. But he's definitely someone that you will still want to hang out with because he won't just help you to be successful, but he'll help you have a lot of fun on your way there. And so thanks, Andy. And I do appreciate you also, Cheryl, and this opportunity to be able to be here with everybody. So I'm going to be real quick because I see I'm down to 8 minutes. I'm trying to talk real fast.
Go as long as you want.
So I'm just going to share a little bit about my background and then get into a couple of quick things for you guys about our upcoming system launching January 15th, 2012. Write it down. You don't want to forget it. So again, my name is Maximilian Williams. And like Andy said, I actually grew up in Oakland, California. And just a little bit about my background, I don't want to get too much into that. But long story short, I got started in this industry a long time ago, not really that long ago, but I was 20 years old. And I grew up in a situation here in Oakland where, things just weren't that good for us. And my mom has rheumatoid arthritis, and so she couldn't work. And we have a lot of siblings, and we just went through a lot of hardships growing up. And I just wanted to be successful really bad. And I know most of you guys on this call probably agree with me with that, where how many guys ever wanted to be successful? You ever wanted more in life? Where that's more time with your family, where there's more finances, more opportunities, just more freedom in general. And I just wanted that. And I didn't know how to get it. I was a hard worker, but I didn't know what to do. And when I was 20 years old, my whole life got blessed. So I met a gentleman who was just one of the most phenomenal people I ever met in my whole entire life. And he was a very, very, very successful guy. And I remember I begged him, will you please teach me how to build a business in this industry? And, long story short, he actually agreed to it on one condition he gave me. He said, one condition. I said, well, what's that? He said, you have to promise me no matter how much money you make, no matter how successful you become, no matter what, that you will never stop teaching others, that you will pay it forward, help other people out. And I said, sure. I mean, back then, especially I was broke. I was like, sure, whatever it takes, man. And he did it for me. And I'll never forget, because I didn't understand why he said that to me. But I want to share with you guys that, you know what, it's so easy to help people when you need to help yourself. But trust me, once you've made it and you have the money and you have the lifestyle, you just kind of want to kick back and relax. And that happened to me, seriously. I was 23 years old, and I was, I'm busy. He gave me a system that just worked, and I followed his system. And at 22 years old, it was like, man, my goodness. Had all this money coming in, passive income from around the world, and it was so tempting for me to just sit back and just chill for the rest of my life, have fun, travel the world, and just just live life. But I just always remembered when I was 20 years old and I was broke, and I made a promise that no matter what happens, we will never stop sharing the system, helping other people out. And so at 22 years old, I retired, and I did take a couple of years off, and I just relaxed. And about 24, 25 years old, I had some friends who wanted some help for themselves, and they had gotten started in the industry in different companies, and I helped them all out. And what happened was, long story short, in different companies, they all became successful. Most of them became the top income earners using the same exact system that was taught to me. And from there, corporations came around and they wanted me to come in and, help develop their training systems, their marketing systems, and we helped develop the systems for 4 of the top 10 companies in the whole entire world, and they went on, became mega successful. But not only that, but within 90 days of implementing our system, they saw their total sales revenue globally go up over 300% on average within the 90 days of implementing the system. And I always tell people that's not about me, it's just a phenomenal system that works, you guys. And so from there, what happened was about a year and a half ago, just long story short, to get to how we got to the gold business, for me was, I have an older brother who some of you guys have probably heard about, who actually is the president for American Express. And one of the things that he taught me was, a couple of years ago, he gave me a call. We had a conversation. I can't share it with you guys on this call here tonight. If you're on tour, you got to hear it. If you don't hear it tonight, next time make sure you show up to a lot of events. Okay? Or talk to somebody who was there, and they'll probably share the details of the story with you. But what I can share you guys is that it is so important that you do start saving gold. And he had a meeting with President Obama, and he came out the meeting, and that's the one thing I can share with you guys is that, trust me when I tell you that the leaders of this world know that it's coming to an end. And you seriously want to be inside gold, because the currencies are going to change, the monetary system is going to shift. The one thing they know for sure is that gold will have value. Okay, you guys? And so I just want to give you guys a quick analogy to help you understand why I'm so passionate about this and why we're working so hard to make this happen. Is that you guys, we live in a time when we know that prices go up. And prices have continued to grow up, but we don't understand how dangerous it is that we live in a world of inflation. You guys know, you check price history, you go back hundreds of years, or you can go all the way back to 1665. We have actual price recorded histories here in the U.S. all the way back to 1665. We have global records going back 1,000 years, and there is virtually no inflation for over 1,000 years of recorded price history. No inflation until you get to about the early 1900s. And 1971, you start seeing price inflation being consistent and constant. And we live in a world where we think that's normal, but there's a great guy by Dr. Albert Bartlett who said that the greatest downfall of mankind is our inability to understand the exponential function. And some of you guys are saying, what does that mean? I encourage you guys all to go to YouTube, type in the most important video you'll ever see, and you'll be able to watch it and understand what he talks about. But I'm going to sum it up for you guys in one quick little story. Imagine if we went to Fenway Park, and some guys may not know what that is. Fenway Park is a humongous baseball stadium. It holds tens and tens of thousands of people. Let's say I took you to Fenway Park and I handcuffed you. I took you to the top bleacher and I handcuffed you to the top of the bleacher. Then I'm going to go down to the pitcher's mound and take a little magic eyedropper. I'm going to drop one little drop of water on the pitcher's mound. And what's magic about it is that every minute that water will double. So after 2 minutes, you got 2 little drops of water. After 3 minutes, you got 4 drops of water. After 5 minutes, you just got 10 little drops of water, enough water to fill up a little thimble. And imagine this goes on and on. My question to you is this. If I dropped that water at 12 noon and it was doubling every minute, how long do you have before that whole stadium is full of water and you drown? Think about that. I remember the first time I asked that question, I said, I have a few days. I didn't know how long I have about a few days. And he said, no, I'm not familiar. No. I said, what, a few hours? He said, no. He said, you have until 12:49. You have exactly 49 minutes. But then he asked me a second question. This is the question that really shifted my whole paradigm, you guys. He said this. He said, if I dropped the water at 12 noon, and at 12:49 the stadium was filled, at what time was the stadium 95% empty still? And I thought about it, and I said, 12:02. He said, no, Mac, you still don't get it. I said, what time then? It was 12:44. At 12:44, the stadium is 95% empty. And most people would sit there and think, after 44 minutes, it's only 5% of water in here, I must at least have a few hours left. But 5 minutes later, the whole stadium is flooded. Because see, what we don't realize is that whenever something's growing exponentially, it really only heats up in that last 5 minutes. I'm just here to share with you guys that we have entered into the last 5 minutes with our monetary system. That prices around the world have been going up consistently for decades. And we just thought it wasn't that big a deal. Kind of like that water doubling, 1 drop, 2 drops, 4 drops, 8 drops, 16 drops of water. Who cares? It's like, bread started off as being 5 cents. Then it was, 4, then it was 6 cents, then 10 cents, then 40 cents, no big deal, right? And so fast forward today, and I remember a couple of years ago when bread was $2, now it's $3, $4. I remember being 16 years old and gas was 99 cents a gallon. Now it's over $3 a gallon. It's tripled in just 10 years. And we don't think it's a big deal because we say, well, it's still only $3. But what do you do? You go out 10 more years and that triples again. Now you're at $9. And it keeps going. This is what's happening, guys. Around the world, prices are skyrocketing. And the only thing that's maintained its value is gold. And that's what Andy was illustrating for us earlier in the call. And I hope everybody caught on to that, things are changing really fast right now. And you definitely want to be getting your money out of paper money and into gold. And so we saw that. I saw the urgency of that, you guys. And long story short, we looked around and we saw that, Karatbars is by far the greatest company on the planet right now for helping the average person, get gold. And so because of that, like Andy said, our company, we partner with corporate, and we're developing the training system to help you guys do that. Because what you guys don't understand is the opportunity that presents itself for you guys. And that's really what I want to talk to you guys about tonight, is the opportunity that you have with Karatbars International. It is by far the greatest opportunity you will ever come across. You guys got to understand. See, look, I don't want to get too excited, but you got to understand, look, one of the keys to creating wealth, and I am going to talk about wealth tonight, you guys, because you can make average money with Karatbars, but you have an opportunity here to really create wealth for yourself and your families. You guys, you know what I'm saying? Look, if you want to be successful in life, you got to learn how to get in front of trends before they change. And right now, the gold industry for gold sales is a $220 billion industry. That's right, $220 billion are converted into gold every single year around the world, you guys. But, and here's the but, that only represents 1% of total savings in the world. 1% of the money saved every year globally is actually converted into gold, and it still equals $220 billion. That's because, like Andy said earlier, you guys, I'm gonna drive this home for you. Our product is money itself. You cannot have a greater product than money. There's nothing that's gonna sell more than what? Money. Juice will never sell as much as money. Lotion will never sell as much as what? Money. Nothing is as an abundance as, guess what? Money. And at 1% of total savings going into gold still equals $220 billion. So here is the billion-dollar question for you. When people start waking up, and as more people in the world start converting their dollars into gold, and if it goes up to 2%, that equals another $220 billion. If total savings just goes to 5% being in gold, just 5%. And you guys remember, just 40 years ago, it was 100%. I'm not even getting to that. If total savings just 5% went to gold, you're talking about it becoming now $1 trillion industry. And you have the opportunity to be in front of all that. You have the opportunity to position yourself in front of literally the largest wealth transfer in the history of mankind, as the world is shifting back from paper money back into gold, and you get to be in front of that, you guys. And so what we're bringing with you guys here with Karatbars Success University, that's the name of the system that launched on January 15th, the Karatbars Success University, is that we're going to take the system that we've used, that Andy talked about earlier, for over 10 years now, of documented success that's created some of the largest companies on the planet right now in the direct sales industry. The Direct Sales Hall of Fame just came out. They listed the 100 top income earners in the whole entire world. And I was blessed and honored. I always tell people that it's not about me, but it's about the system. I always tell people that, you know, a teacher is only happy when their students surpass them. And I was so excited because out of the top 100 income earners in the world, 2 of the people who I personally mentor were on that list. My friend, Mr. Karatbars, number 63 in the whole entire world, and also another person I trained, Mr. Hilton Bugs, who's number 3 in the whole entire world. Not only that, but they also have people who they train who are also on that list. And so between people who I train, who they train, we have a total of about 24 of the top 100 income earners in the whole entire world. And it's all thanks to this very system that we have now actually made exclusive for Karatbars. This system will now be exclusively used only for Karatbars. It'll be our Success University. And the whole goal of Karatbars Success University is to help you grow and build a 6-figure business with Karatbars, to help you build your 6-figure business with Karatbars through education, motivation, and duplication. So this system is by far off the hook, you guys. And so what happens is that you get education. What does that mean for you? It's very simple. It means that we're going to have wealth education. Some of the greatest wealth minds on the planet, you have to have access to all that training inside the system. We have education on how to build the business. We have videos for you guys, 24/7 live training. We have live video streaming, you guys. We actually built an online channel just for KB. It's called KBTV. It'll be 24/7 live broadcasting of success information, building your business all day long. The leaders were able to go live through there. Mr. Harold Slice, our CEO, will be able to live broadcast from Germany, and it'll be instantly recorded. So if you missed it, you can wake up and it's right there for you live all the time, you guys. It's phenomenal. The training system goes 24/7. We have orientation training for you guys. We have savings calculators for you. We have commissions calculators for you. And we have so much stuff. I can't really get into everything, guys. In the next couple of days, there's a promotional page that will launch for it, that will have a video that will explain everything about the system. So make sure you plug in with Cheryl and Andy. They'll let you guys know when that's up and when you can go check out that information. But what I do want to do is, guys, I want to share one quick story with you guys, and that's this, you guys, is that, you know, here in the Bay Area where I live in Northern California, we have two bridges, okay, guys? We have two bridges. We have the Bay Bridge, and we have the Golden Gate Bridge. And so what happened is this, you guys, is that I remember back in, I think it was like 1989, I think I have the year right, it was a huge earthquake. I was about 8 years old, and there's a huge earthquake here. And what happened was, I remember I felt the earthquake, and I was actually in Oakland, and all across the Bay Area, this massive earthquake that hit, and buildings were shaking all over the place. And what happened was, the Bay Bridge collapsed. I'll say it one more time, the Bay Bridge actually collapsed, you guys. Can you imagine that, a bridge collapsing? The top level of the bridge literally collapsed, and there was utter chaos. There were thousands and thousands of cars on the bridge when it collapsed. But what was more scary were the thousands of cars that were headed towards the bridge who did not know it had collapsed. What happened was they felt the earthquake. People felt the tremor. They felt the ground shaking. They felt things shifting. But they didn't know the bridge had collapsed ahead of them. And so what happened was there was chaos, but there were some heroes, and I mean heroes, who got out of their cars when the bridge collapsed. They hit the brakes. They got out their car. They start running back in the opposite direction down the bridge, stopping all the cars that were headed towards the bridge. And they stopped them, and they redirected the cars to the Golden Gate Bridge. Because, see, there's only two bridges that can get you off of the island of San Francisco. You have the Golden Gate Bridge, the Bay Bridge. When the Bay Bridge collapsed, they were running back, and they were literally, I consider them heroes, because they stopped people from going on a bridge that had collapsed and was redirecting the traffic to the Golden Gate Bridge. And that's literally saved thousands of lives that day. I share that story with you guys because, look, you guys, we live in a world where, just like right now, you have paper money at that Bay Bridge, and then you have gold at Karatbars with the Golden Gate Bridge. And there's so many people out there heading down a bridge that has collapsed. And we felt the earth. Your friends, your family members, your co-workers, the people in your neighborhood, in your community, they feel the tremor. They feel the shifting of the ground. They feel things shaking, but they don't know what's going on. They don't know the bridge is collapsing. They don't know the paper monies are failing. They don't know what's going on, but you do. And you have the opportunity to go back and help and be a hero in thousands of people's lives. You have the opportunity to go back there and stop all of those cars heading down the wrong bridge and redirect them to that Golden Gate Bridge. Redirect them to Karatbars International. So saving their money into gold. You have the chance to, when the day comes, and we don't know when it's coming, but it's coming. I tell you all the time, it's better to be 10 years early than one day late. You have an opportunity to stop all of those cars before they hit the wrong bridge, to change lives, to change family memory, that help families who otherwise have went down the bridge of paper money, and when the finances collapsed, their financial lives would have been ruined, and you could save them. You have the cure, you guys. You have the answer, and it's our opportunity, our trust, our mission, our purpose, our desires to go out there and change lives, to go out there and warn people. Now, here is the amazing part. There was sometimes some people, one of those guys, his name was John, and when John got back to ran to the end of the Bay Bridge, and as he was stopping cars, there were so many cars that didn't know what John was talking about. He said the bridge had collapsed. And they thought he was crazy. So they honked their horn and was rude to John, and they kept driving down that bridge that had collapsed. But guess what? Did John go chasing after that one car? No. Why? Because there was 5 more cars coming. So he had to stay there and keep stopping the other cars because he knew that there would be those who would believe. I share it with you guys because right now, as you are going out there, you're telling people about Karatbars, and you're trying to explain what's going on, and you may not have the best tools, you don't have the best videos. They're coming. Come January 15th, we will have the tools for you, and they may not be there yet. But here's the thing, you guys, that John still stopped people. He still did what he could. And what happened was later on, it took about 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so for the emergency crews to come in, and the helicopters came, and the police came, and the fire department came, and they shut down the bridge, and no one could ignore it no more, and everyone knew to go the opposite way. But the hero was John, who was there before the emergency people came, before the barricades put up, before it became so obvious. Why don't I share with that, guys? Look, right now, when January 15th comes, and this system goes live, it's like the emergency crews coming in. The videos are so phenomenal, you guys. The training system's so off the hook. Everything is just so amazing that you know what? It'll be so hard for somebody to ignore it anymore. It'll become so obvious. But until then, you have to be that hero. Until then, you have to be like John and stand your